Okay, so I have multiple problems with this game. Um, Probably more problems actually committed by Purdue than the refs. But let's open up with what Purdue did. We couldn't execute anything in the first half. We started to exit. We couldn't really execute anything until the end of the second half, and it was a bit too late because we would, go on a run, stop, allow a bunch of points, go on a run, stop, allow a bunch of points, just essentially undoing the work that they were doing. So it made no difference. Um, we need to work on turnovers. There were multiple fast breaks where we could have had points, and there was a stupid turnover. Or there were multiple inbounds where we could have had points, stupid turnover. Just multiple plays where we could have had points, and there was a stupid turnover. A bad, sloppy pass, losing a dribble, losing a rebound. Just stuff like that we need to work on. Um, the refs, actually a bit better than I thought they were going to be from the beginning. Because there were a few fouls that, just from the beginning, you could tell that these refs were the type of refs that were going to referee a game softly. You can't play. You can't play hard with these refs. So Mason Gillis, whenever there's a ref that wants a game to be soft, Mason Gillis is basically eliminated because his game is physical, hard nosed, fighting, physical basketball. And those type of refs will call foul after foul after foul, and he just can't really do anything. And he needs to kind of develop more of like an inside game or maybe a 3 point shot, just a jump shot. He needs to develop some sort of scoring in order for him to be effective whenever a ref is kind of like that. But multiple times where it was out on Iowa and then they called it Iowa basketball. Like there was one replay that they obviously showed where it bounced off Luca Garza's knee or the thigh area, and it went out of bounds, and they called it Iowa basketball, and it was clear as day. Actually, come to think of it, a lot of those ones where it was out on Iowa, Luca Garza was the one it was out on. Holy crap! They really were protecting the Big Ten's golden boy, and I know you're gonna say, "Oh, he had 3 fouls." Well, so did Zach Edey. Actually, Trayvon Williams probably had 3 fouls too. Most of Purdue's players had 3 fouls. It's just terrible. It was a mix of us not executing and the refs kind of screwing us over. And I know what I'm about to rant on next affects the game not at all. It doesn't affect the players at all. But I need to rant about it because honestly, it's the Big 10 that does this the worst is commentators. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous in this one. Just constantly wouldn't shut up about Luca Garza. I get he's a good player, and you can talk about him, when he breaks records, third all time. He breaks it and is now third all time in career points for Iowa. Okay, talk about him then. Talk about how good he is. But you don't got to talk about how good he is for 70% of the game. Just whenever Purdue does something good, I don't want to hear about what Luca Garza did. I want to hear about Purdue because they just did something good, and you just want to ignore it because Luca Garza. Oh, freaking suck off Luca Garza constantly. Jeez. There was one point at the end that just sealed it for me that these commentators were horrendous, and it made me want to punch a hole through my wall. So, you know, near the end, Purdue went on a few runs, and they were kind of climbing back in and then going out, and then climbing back in and then going out. And the announcers were kind of like, Purdue could go on a run here. Multiple times they said Purdue could go on a run here and mount a comeback. And then at the end, when an Iowa player hit a three to seal the game, they say that they said that removes all doubt, if there was any, of Iowa losing. There was definitely doubt of Iowa losing, considering you said that there was a possibility multiple times. And that just made me want to walk over to my wall, just kind of, cocking back and then just freaking knocking it right there. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to pay for a hole that I put in the wall. But it made me want to punch something. It made me want to kick something, punch something, do some sort of physical harm to something with how idiotic that statement was. And just constantly, Luka Garza. Like, I get it, he's a good player. You don't gotta talk about him for all of your free airtime. Jeez. It made me want to jump off of a cliff. A very steep one. A very, very, very steep one. Or maybe take a cinder block, put it on the gas pedal, and then just driving straight forward. Just drive straight forward. Whatever I hit. Hopefully I die. Because that just constantly, I hate it. It's a lot of the reason why I hate certain players. Well, not hate. It's a lot of the reason why I don't like certain players. Patrick Mahomes, I used to absolutely just dislike him to the point that I hated him. I'll say it. I don't like to use it, even though I'll sometimes use it, because I feel like it's a strong word to use to an athlete that you don't really know personally, but I'll sometimes use it still, so don't come back on this. I hated Patrick Mahomes at one point because when the Colts beat the Chiefs, just constantly they would still talk about Patrick Mahomes and how good he was when the Colts freaking beat him with Jacoby Brissett. And they would still talk about how good Patrick Mahomes was. And I just hated it. So I didn't like him. And then this year, the announcers stopped sucking him off. I was completely fine. I'm completely fine with him this year. In fact, I could probably like him. I could probably enjoy him. He seems like a cool dude off the field. And the announcers aren't constantly talking about him anymore. LeBron James, never liked him. Announcers constantly talk about how good he is, even when he does something bad. It's like he can't ever mess up. What's another player? I know there are a few others. Probably Luka Garza is going to become one of them. Steph Curry was one for a bit, like back in 2016 for me. But then kind of went back and I started liking Steph Curry a bit more. But like things like that, it just... Announcers, I want to be an announcer one day. And I am going to try my best not to do this. Because it's terrible. It makes people dislike players. Because you're just jamming all this stuff. Like, this player is good. You better think he's good. He's amazing even when he's losing. Like, no. When he's losing, he's losing. When he's winning, he's winning. Now, when he's losing, if it is no fault of his own, okay, don't criticize him. But most of the time when he's losing, there is some blame that needs to go to him. So actually blame him. Criticize him. Do something. That is all for this time. Tomorrow, I'm not super angry about this. Because, well, one, this was the 4th ranked team in the nation. And we lost by 12, 14 points. That's pretty good for a team that they haven't even ranked. And I believe we'll play them again. So we'll get to see again. We'll get to see a rematch. And also tomorrow, Wednesday, December 23rd at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tip-off for Pacers versus Knicks. The Indiana Pacers return to the NBA season. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. I might shed tears of joy. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to be very excited for it. And hopefully the announcers don't be stupid because it's the Knicks. They might, who is it? Obi Toppin is their newest rookie they get to ruin. So, see you guys next time.